What is up, guys? It's Team Infinity Cerulean back at it again. This time we're coming at you guys with a premium Dimension Police deck profile. Okay, so we're gonna get started. So first off, we're gonna start with the grade 3s, if you guys saw. So first, our grade 3s are 4 Super Dimension Robo, or Dayusha. So Dayusha, it's a really free card, honestly. But in my opinion, I feel like it should just leave once Dayusha comes out. Or, sorry, not Dayusha, Dialiner comes out. I feel like Dialiner honestly would make the deck a little better because you can search out any normal unit, aka like a grade 3. And there's just like a combo that I want to mention later on in the video, if we get to it. But yeah, he's a pretty good card. Once you hit 35, he can get +1 critical. And then he also has a skill, the Axe skill, to rest any number of rear guards. And then he gets +10 for every rested unit they use for the skill. Okay. Next up, we have the big boy. Ultimate Dimension Robo, Great Dayusha. So, this one's actually really, really good. Because, honestly, you don't really want to use it for the second skill, which his skills are, for the first one, is when in place, you can give 10k to 3 of your units in the front row. So, for example, if you had 2 units before you ride, or when you ride into him, they'll get 10k, and then you can stride afterwards, and they're going to keep the 10k power, which is really, really good. Especially if you're going to go into like a multi-attack turn. So you don't ever really want to use the second skill. I mean, it can happen, but for me it hasn't really happened yet. Which, you have to be on grade 3 at the beginning, or for the turn, but then if his power reaches 45k or greater, he can get, if you have him in hand, you can counterblast 1 at the end of the battle your Vanguard attack, or your grade 3 Vanguard attack, and you can ride this card as stand for CB1, and then he'll get +10. So that also works with the first skill also goes along with it, so he'll get like +20 when you ride him, and then your front row can get, or 3 units in the front row can get +10 as well, or 2 units, sorry. Okay. One card I was playing earlier, though, was Sylvard. I ended up taking him out, though, because there's a grade 0. My grade 0 for the deck is Goyusha, and this one's really specific on having the D-Robo names, and unfortunately, Sylvard is not a Dimension Robo. So Sylvard, though, it's a really good card, especially probably when Force 2 comes out, it'll be really, really good because you can swing like triple crit if your Vanguard's 30k or greater.
What's the point of taking it out if you'd only use this skill if you were at grade 2 or less?
So this one?
Yeah, why would you take this out for?
Well, there's also another thing that he's a grade 3, you can't really call it, so it's kind of just it ends up being really like sort of a dead card, because you want to use this one to, the starter skill is to move 4 Dimension Robos, or rear guards, into Soul, and then you can Superior Ride a Dimension Robo from deck. So,
So
it's essentially sort of like, if you guys know what Ezel does, where you can just Superior Ride on the opponent. If you go first, it's really, really good. Especially if you have like a grade 3 in hand, like for example, Dayusha. You can Superior Ride a Dayusha from deck, and then you can use Stride with the Dayusha into like Regender Dragon. It's really, really good. And then after that point, you can pretty much free stride for the rest of the game.
Okay, so you took it out so that you wouldn't clog up with grade 3s in hand while still being able to maintain ultimate stride targets.
Yeah. Because the Dimension Robo name is really important when you're trying to Superior Ride. Yeah. Cat. So next, we're going to go on to the grade 2s. So I'm playing 4 Dimension Robo Die Dragons. So Die Dragon, honestly, it's one of your best beaters. So its skill is, if you can Soul Blast 1, Vanguard Rearguard +5 to your Vanguard for the turn. And then the second skill is honestly the more important one. So constant, if your Vanguard is 35k or greater, this unit gets +10. So it's actually really, really easy within premium to hit the power, because that's basically, you ride to grade 3, you can give the Force Gift to your Vanguard, and when you stride, you're essentially already going to hit like 38 with the power. already, because that's 15 plus your force gift plus the 13 from being a force. Okay. So it's just a really, really good, a really big beater, especially with the Progenitor Dragon. Okay. Next up, we are playing 4-Dimension Robo, Dieball. This one, it's kind of just really there for the name. So its skill is, its skill is constant. The main one is this constant ability. If your Vanguard is grade 4, a grade 4 with Dimension Robo in its name. That includes the heart, by the way, guys. This unit and all of your grade 3 rear guards get plus 5k. So it kind of just buffs up your grade 3s. It can get 5k, yeah. And then the first skill, though, when placed on Vanguard Rearguard, you have to choose a card from your hand, and if that or your Vanguard is a grade 3 Dimension Robo, then it gets -5. That one's kind of like a less important skill, but the main thing, though, the problem with that one is that you can't be grade 4, and you call this card, you need to be grade 3 in order for it not to get the minus power. So if you stride with it, it's still gonna get minus, unless you reveal, when you call it, you reveal a grade 3 Dimension Robo. But this card it combos really well with one of our strides that we recently got. So
also, you can counterblast deny OTT.
Yeah, because you can get the -5 and counterblast deny clowns if you need to. Usually, though, you want to superior ride on the opponent, but yeah, you can counterblast deny them. Okay. And then for our last grade 2, we are playing Dimension Robo Diresin. Honestly, this one's kind of just there for the name, just like Dieball. So, and also, so its skill is constant during your turn. This unit gets +2 for each face-up card with Dimension Robo in your G-Zone. The power can stack up. It can get pretty big. Or decent. Next relevant one, part of the skill for this deck, because there's no, I'm not playing any Die Kaisers, but, so he also can get constant, if you have a Vanguard with Daisha in his name, he gets constant +2. This also goes off during the opponent's turn, also. But yeah. Okay. He's kind of just there for the name. Okay. Next up, we're going on to the grade 1s. So, first up. Oh, sorry, wait. There's one grade 2 I was playing before, you guys saw. And that was Miracle Dandy. But the issue with playing Miracle Dandy was that he wasn't a Dimension Robo. So it's like, and there were several times when I went first, but I didn't have enough Dimension Robos in deck, or sorry, not in deck, on the board to spear ride with Goyusha. So, it's really good though, but it's just, I'm not playing it's just not a Dimension Robo. If it was, I would definitely 100% play this. Okay. So now, going on to the grade 1s. We are playing 4-Dimension Robo Die Brave. So Die Brave, in my opinion, it's kind of just there for the power boost. So it's Axe skill, Vanguard Rearguard, Soul Blast 1, and one of your Vanguards get +5, so it's kind of the same as Die Dragon. And the second skill, when your Vanguards hits, you can put it into Soul and draw a card. So it kind of like can filter one. And it also, I guess, fills up the soul. But yeah.
It pays for its own cost.
Yeah, it kind of just pays for itself. Okay, next up, we are playing. So, I'm kind of on the fence about this. So, I'm playing. Y'all know about Commander Laurel, right? Unfortunately, he got hit to 1, the OG one. I'm still playing it. And I'm playing 3 of the new Laurel, V-Series Laurel. So, the old Commander Laurel skill is, if you have, when your Vanguard hits auto, rest 4 of your Dimension Police Rearguards, and then you can send your Vanguard. The thing about that one was, back in G era, why it was such a big threat when you could play 4 of it, is that
Restanding strides.
Yeah, you could restand your stride.
for.
And I'm kind of on the fence about taking it out because there was a really cool play that I had gotten off with the Projector Dragon with this. So, like, my opponent had... I'll explain it later on when I show you guys my G-Zone. But, yeah. He can restand your Vanguard. This new Laurel, though, it's CB1. Rest 4 of your rear guards, and then choose one of your units until the end of turn it gets double its power. You can double its power, and then it gets 1 critical. That one's really good for getting the crit pressure, and I guess reaching certain powers, like with Gallop. Yeah. It's pretty good. I'm considering just to play 4, just to make it more, make the deck more consistent, I guess, if you could say. Because like the one of Laurel, they're always gonna guard it, but then this one's like you have to basically guard it. But sort of like that, yeah. Anyways. Yep. And then we are playing 4-Dimension Robo Die Mariner. This card's really, really, really good. Like, this is probably one of the best grade ones they actually got from V that you could actually put into premium. So its skill is when placed. It doesn't matter if it's from hand, by the way, you guys. If you guys saw the previous video, during the match video, did a pretty cool play with this. So it's when placed, Soul Blast 1, choose one of your Vanguards, and then, yeah, choose one of your Vanguards, and when your opponent would call Guardians for the battle when they attack from hand, they must call 2 or more at the same time. So there's a really cool play that I had gotten off in one of our match videos, where I think it was with Dimax, and I had called it off of the skill, and then because you're still attacking, the opponent still has to call 2 cards for the battle. It also it works really well with like Gallop as well, and also Stark, especially with Laurel going on the board. Your Vanguard's gonna have an extra crit, and then they have to deal with the guard trick as well. It helps a lot against Protect. The manage, guys. Okay. So yeah, 4 Die Mariner. And then lastly, for the grade 1s, we are playing 2-Dimension Robo Die Tiger. Honestly, this one, it's sort of just there for the name. However, also, there is this cool play that you can do against Ezel, where turn 1, if they're going first, if they're playing the old Criff, you can put this on the rear guard along with your Vanguard and Goyusha. You swing with your Vanguard. They either have to debate whether or not they're going to guard the Vanguard and or to try and save their Criff from dying, because it's a 1-for-1. Sorry about that. So its skill is, I forgot to mention this. So when your Vanguard attack hits a Vanguard, you can put this in Unit to Soul, and then you can choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. So in that situation, if you drop this like turn 1 and you swing with your Vanguard, if they let your Vanguard hit, you can shove this card into Soul and retire their starter, the old Criff. Because if you guys know the old Criff, its skill is that you'd move, I think it's Bowmane, Gareth, and then this old Criff into Soul, and you can Spear at Ezel. So it's like they can, and it basically puts them like ahead of you. But if you put this on the board and they decide not to guard the Vanguard, you can move this into Soul, and then you can basically retire their Criff. So it's actually a pretty good card. And also, I guess, if you want to talk about Ange too, if they're playing the Grade 3 Researcher, it also makes it sort of a threat, where they have to wonder if they want to take the damage or not, if they don't have the Superior Ride. But yeah, playing 2 Die Tigers. Cat. So those are the grade 2s.
1s.
Yeah, 2s, 1s, and 3s. So now we're going to move on to the triggers. So of course, playing 4 V-Series heal. Honestly, I'm kind of just playing for the 10k power. It's also the 20k shield is really, really nice. It's kind of, yeah, pretty good. Okay, also playing, I am playing 7 crits. The important one to notice though is I'm playing for Die Battles. It's to fulfill the cost for Goyusha, because it has Dimension Robo Die Battles, so it's a Dimension Robo. So yeah. playing 4 that one, and then playing 3
of the new crit.
Yeah, the new crit. Quake being Namazoro. Yeah. So the V series crit, it's generic. It's the generic GB one. When your Vanguard attacks, you can move into soul, draw a card, and your Vanguard is +10. So honestly, if I were to take a card or change this one out, I would for Dimension Robo. I believe there's a new one coming out in the new set for one of the crits, from what I've heard. So I'm probably gonna take this one out as soon as it comes out because I want the Dimension Robo name for the Goyusha. But yeah, it's mainly just there for the name. And also, it's a 10k trigger. It's pretty nice, especially if you get damage triggers with them. Okay, so yeah, 7 crit. And then playing 5 draw. 4 PG draw, and then 1 generic 10k. I'm kind of playing this one because it's a 10k trigger. And the 10k damage triggers are really, really good, especially if they're draws. So, yeah. So that was the grade 2s, 3s, yeah. Grade 3, 2, and 1, and 0. So we're going to move on to the G zone now. Okay. So, I am playing... Ooh, you guys remember this one. 99th Gen Dimension Robo Commander Great Die Earth. Really, really good for setup. Got 1 SP, guessy. No. It doesn't really look that different though. But yeah, so its skill is CB2, choose a face down card with the same name of it as it, or sorry, not the same name of it as it, but it's basically G flip itself up. And then you can search your deck for 2 cards with Dimension Robo, 1 being a grade 3 and 1 being a grade 2, and you can call them to rearguard. Yeah, for CB2. And then he has another effect, doesn't really go off that often though. If the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone with D-Robo in their name is 2 or more, this unit gets +1 crit until end of turn. I guess you could get it for pressure, but I mean, usually want to, if anything, first stride it, I guess.
Just for the free +2 after you -40 yourself.
Yeah, that's something. Okay, so yeah, 2 Die Earths. Okay, we're also playing...
I suppose it's not a -4, it's a -3.
Yeah. Yeah. We're also playing 2 Bravest Peak Excalib. It's a pretty strong card. So its skill is Counterblast 1, choose a face down card, and turn it up. So it doesn't have to be, you don't have to flip itself up. And then it gets, if its power is 40k or greater, it gets +1 drive. Yeah, and then until the end of turn, at the end of turn, wait, sorry, no, at the end of battle, my bad. If he's 80k or greater, he gets -4 drive, and then you can stand it.
Pretty much an extra poke with your Vanguard.
Yeah. You may say it's hard to hit that power, but no, it's not. But this deck.
His other GB3 effect lets him get 10k for each G-Zone?
Yeah. GB3, Vanguard, constant. This unit gets +10 for each face-up card in your G-Zone. So, yeah, it's not that hard to hit it. And also, yeah. Especially this guy going off with Laurel and Die Mariner. It's really, really strong. Especially if your opponent's at lethal range. So yeah, I'm playing 2. Okay, next up, we are playing 1 Super Cosmic Hero X Tiger. Honestly, he's kind of just there for the CB denial if I got denied Counterblast. So its skill is choose a face down card in your G-Zone, turn it face up. When he attacks a Vanguard, you can pay the cost. If you do, he gets +4 for each face up card in G-Zone. And this is, you can do this multiple times per turn. If, for example, if Laurel happened, you could stand your stride unit. And then if he's 45k or greater, he gets +1 critical until end of battle. So yeah, basically an extra crit, generic, or any, flip any card face up, and then the main thing is that he doesn't require any counterblast or anything, so.
It's pretty, still applying pressure.
Yeah, the crit pressure. The opponent basically has to guard the Vanguard. Especially if Laurel's on the board. Because you can restand it. It'll lose the crit, but then you can still pay the cost again. Okay, next up, we are playing 2 strongest commander chief. Sorry, yeah, strongest command chief final Dimax DX. This card is really, really, really good. So, its skill is 1-in attacks, turn a face-up card in your G-Zone, and put all your rested rearguards into Soul. And then you reveal 7 cards from the top of your deck. And then you can call up to the same number of face-up cards in your G-Zone from among them from highest power, in order of highest power to lowest power. And then... yeah, you shuffle afterwards. And if you put 4 or more cards into your Soul for the cost, all of your units, including himself, will get +10 to crit. Multi-attack. So good with his deck. And then also the units get really, really big. So, it's a really, really strong card that they got. I almost want to bump it up to 3.
And at the higher generation break counts, it will thin out 3 to 5 cards from your deck.
Yeah.
And as long as this deck didn't have triggers, you pulled out turns worth of cards.
Also, another reason why we're playing the die ball is because you can call it off the effect. Because usually, if you reveal a grade 3, you have to call that first because it's higher power. But die ball can be like called behind the Vanguard or something, and then all your grade 3s will still get +10 because
it's like a pseudo booster.
Yeah, because he's still gonna have the heart name for Dimension Robo. So yeah. Really, really strong. Okay. Next up, I'm considering to cutting this down to 1. I'm playing 2 Dimension Robo overall? Yeah. Overall command Ultimate Die King. Honestly, this can yeet your opponent. Like if they're at like 4 damage, if they don't have like the PGs to guard this, even 3 damage if you flip a crit. Because your lanes get really big off him. So its skill is GB8. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, this unit gets +10 to crit for each of your rearguards until the end of the battle. And then at the end of the battle, if this unit is 80k or greater, all your rearguards get +10 for each crit that this unit has until the end of turn. So you're looking at, he's going to get +10 in a crit for each rearguard. So that's already like +60 to himself on top of it. So it's really easy to hit especially because you're playing Force, it's really easy to hit the power. And if you drive check a crit, that's an extra 10k, so that's already about, 100 minimum? Or no, not 100. Sorry, no, 120 minimum added on to your rearguards. Because you count the initial crit plus the 5 crits he's going to get if you have a full board. Really, really good. I'm probably going to cut him down to 1 and try and add in another Dimax DX, because this card's really strong for multi-attack, especially against Protect.
Or if you just can't reach GB8.
Yeah. This is a really good card. Okay. And then we are playing 1 Progenitor Dragon. This guy's, I mean, the goal of the deck here is to Superioride and then... Oh, yeah. So there's a play that you can do with the Progenitor Dragon to go into it. So if you have like a grade 3, for example, like Dayusha in hand, and you can fulfill the cost for Goyusha, you use Goyusha to Spearride into the grade 3 that you currently have in hand. And then the next turn, you can use that grade 3 in Ultimate Stride. It's normal stride, but Ultimate Stride into the Progenitor Dragon. So then, if you guys didn't know, the Progenitor Dragons, basically all of them have the same skill that if they're face up in the G-Zone, they can't be turned face up by abilities, and then when they're face up though, you can basically stride for free. So yeah.
They fulfill the cost for all of your all of your strides for the rest of the game.
So yeah. So G-Zone, this unit can't be turned face up by abilities. This card's face up, you can stride without paying the stride cost. So it's basically like a +1 every turn, essentially. Okay, so this Progenitor's Dragon skill is... I was talking about earlier, there was this play that I got off. So this one, Vanguard. When it attacks, counterblast 1 and increase or decrease the power of all of your opponent's units to 0 until the end of turn. So there was a cool play that I had gotten off with the OG Laurel, if I can find them, where my opponent had 2 to pass my Progenitor Dragon, and I had broken their 2 to pass, and I had the condition for Laurel. They had gotten 3 damage triggers, but then I have Laurel on the board. I rest 4 of my rear guards, and I stand the Progenitor Dragon, I swing at them, and I use his skill again, because his skill isn't once per turn. And then I make his power 0 again. So it's like, can't guard him with Laurel on the board. I really want this to not get hit to... I want this to come back to 4. It's so good. But yeah, it's pretty good. Progenitor Dragons. Okay. Next up, what's a G-Zone without our boy, the Stark? So, if you guys know, this is the Zeroth Dragon for Stargate. So, Zeroth Dragon of Destruction of Destroy Star, Stark. So, its skill is Ultimate Stride. So for Ultimate Stride, you have to bitch a card with the same name as your Vanguard when you have 3 or more face-up cards in your G-Zone. For this was Ultimate Stride, and then you can stride it from face down. Okay. And this one's skill is when this unit is placed on Vanguard, you can pay the cost CB2. If you do, until the end of the turn, this unit gets drive -2. And this unit does not rest when it attacks. Instead, it can attack 3 times. Or yeah, it can attack up to 3 times. So there's some cool plays you can get off with it. Like if you have the counterblast for it, you can be like Commander Laurel along with Die Mariner. If you're swinging for lethal on them, your opponent basically has to drop 3 cards every time if they're using PGs. So, I mean, if they're most likely gonna have to PG anyways, unless they have like a special skill, because Laurel's gonna double its power along with the Force Gifts, and then this one skill will go off, and it's basically swinging 3 times with the opponent. You usually want to go into it like when you know, like if you see the opponent has like very few cards or something, or you like, it's just a really good card, honestly.
You know you can swing for exact lethal.
Yeah.
On all of his attacks.
Yeah. And for G guards, we're playing 1X Caribou. I'm not a huge fan of it because the opponent has to be 30k. So it goes when it's placed on Guardian Circle. If your opponent's attacking unit is 30k or greater, then it gets +10 until the end of that battle, and then yeah, and then you can choose a card from hand and then discard it, and your Vanguard can get +4 until the end of turn. I'm not a huge fan of it because the opponent needs to be 30k when attacking, or 30k or greater when attacking. Like I'm not a huge fan of that, but I might consider taking it out for a different one that I'm playing. Just make cat. But yeah, it's kind of just a generic +10. If anything, I'd probably replace it for one of these. This one is Gallant Incarnation GO5. So its skill is you can Soul Blast 1 card with 5k or greater from your soul, and then when it's placed on Guardian Circle, this unit can get +10 if you pay the cost until the end of the battle, and then if the card is put into your damage zone during the turn, it can also get +5. So it can be like a 30k guard. Yeah. This one's usually the one you're gonna end up using. But yeah. Playing 2. Okay. And then this one, honestly, I've kind of taken a liking to it. Sorry about that, guys. So continuing the profile. So I'm taking a liking to this one, so this one, Galactic Beast Zeal, Great Galactic Beast Zeal. Mainly because it's pretty good for the Excel matchup, in my opinion. So its skill is Soul Blast 1 when it's placed on Guardian Circle. You can pay the cost if you do. Choose any opponent's units, and then it gets -5 until the end of battle. Then the reason why I'm taking a liking to it. So its skill is, or the other part of the skill is, if the number of cards face up in your damage zone is more, it's supposed to, so we've got it rotted, but it's equal to or more. It says more on the card, but it's equal to or more. Then the cards then the cards in your opponent's damage zone, you can counterblast 1 and then choosing your Vanguard, and it gets +5 until end of turn. Especially with Excel 2 coming out, it's really, really good because they're only going to get +5, so then they have to work a little harder for that number. So yeah, I'm kind of taking a liking to this one. I might up it to 2, in fact, actually. It's pretty good. And then to close off the G-Zone, we're playing 2 Oceanic Conversion? Yeah, Oceanic Conversion Atlas Dolphin. So its skill is, you can flip a card, GB1, flip a card face down, face up in your G-Zone, or flip a G-Guardian from your G-Zone, flip it face up, and then during the battle it's placed, your opponent's, during the Vanguard, during the battle that the opponent's Vanguard attacked, you can flip a card face up, and then this unit gets +5 until the end of the battle for each rear guard that you have. And then if this unit gets 30k or greater, you can countercharge 1 and soul charge 1. Honestly, it's probably one of your bigger G-Guards. If your opponent can't lock down your board, it's like, also you can get the countercharge, which is really, really good. Yeah, I'm playing 2. So, one thing I had forgotten to mention, the reason why we're playing Goyusha as a starter is because the new stride ruling, where you can still stride if you've been on grade 3 for a turn. So the goal would be, if you gone first, you can use Goyusha and superior ride into your grade 3, and then when the opponent rides to their grade 2 because you had gone first, then you can, when it comes back to your turn, you can stride into grade 3 because grade 4 because you were on grade 3 for a turn. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the profile. And yeah, Team Infinity Cerulean signing out.